so that way I don't have to hear G complain about my drip anymore.
Can't be looking like a scrub, dude.
Dude, I bought a mansion in Everfall yesterday.
Fireball gamers, dude.
We got patch notes, Jen. All right, so update 1.0.4. Notable fixes include resolving the AoE magic effect war exploit, the issue preventing players from being able to appropriately increase their faction token cap, beginning to work on addressing issues causing invulnerability. Outpost Rush. After we monitor Outpost Rush in South America to ensure no new issues are encountered, we will enable it for the following regions at the times below. U.S. West, 10 a.m. Pacific. U.S. East is noon Pacific, and then Southeast, and then Central Europe. Our goal is to adhere to the schedule above, but may need to adjust the timing depending on any issues or lack thereof. We'll keep you updated on our forums and through in-game messaging for any upcoming downtime. Thank you to our players in U.S. West and South America for helping us ensure these features are ready for the worldwide rollout, and thank you to everyone for your understanding and patience. General changes. Removed the Everfall starting beach to funnel new players through the other 3 locations to increase the probability of new players and friends being able to start together. So there were 4 starting zones. This little chunk right here. All 4 of these were like the starting zones. So they got rid of Everfall. So it's just these 3 now. The first house discount reduces the purchase price but does not reduce taxes. However, the UI indicated to players that their taxes would be reduced, and it was only after purchasing the house and needing to pay taxes that they discovered they had to pay full price. We will compensate any player who purchased a house before the UI fix went out with 2,000 coins. So there you go. So anybody that was playing in the first days and bought a house like in the first I guess couple of weeks, gets 2,000 coin. Slightly improved performance within wars. So for those of us that don't know, anything that did like poison clouds, anything that did AoE ticking damage when like stacked up in a singular point would cause the servers during wars to lag. Even though they were instanced, the server would fall to its knees, and then everyone would look like they were standing still, and you'd be slashing through them and nothing would happen. Slightly improve the performance of the life staff with changes to the passive abilities Mending Touch and Blissful Touch. So here's what happened with this one. Life staff, it says slightly improved. Slightly improved the performance of. So Mending Touch says life staff's heavy attack removes 1 debuff when passing through an ally. And Blissful Touch says light attacks heal a target for 20% weapon damage when passing through an ally. What this used to do was cause like this little AoE like poof. Like 1 meter little AoE. Where if you ended up firing it into the ground at on a group of people that were stacked up on top of each other, it would remove those debuffs for everybody. Actually kind of a nerf, because it doesn't do that little AoE thing anymore. It actually has to pass through them now in order for it to work. So it does what the tooltip says it does. So with these guys saying slightly improve the performance of life staff, what they mean to say is they made you have to be more accurate with it. In update 1.0.3, we corrected a bug causing companies to lose income from owning multiple territories or from failed war declarations. With this update, we are reimbursing lost coin revenue. The company treasury will be reimbursed for all lost coin revenue resulting from the issue. The revenue returned will not exceed the treasury cap. If a company has been completely abandoned, they will not recover the lost coin. We increased the faction token cap by 50% for each faction tier. Well, this is actually nice. We made this change so that players can earn extra tokens even if they've hit the rep cap and want to save up while working to advance to the next faction rank. Here are the new values. So it went from 5,000 to 7,500 tier 1, 10k to 15,000 tier 2, 15 to 22.5 on tier 3, 25 to 37.5 on tier 4, 50k to 75k on tier 5. Fixed an issue where the faction token caps were not increasing after players had completed the rank up quest. There you go. Okay. So they said they fixed it. Fixed a rare issue causing world time to skip ahead or behind, which would subsequently cause a variety of issues across the world. Like having wars get declared and 1 person in the war or 2 people in the war, like the entire war becomes a 1v1. Fixed an issue causing players to lose houses they owned and Cutlass keys. Apparently there are other zones where people have owned houses and their houses like disappeared and not just in Cutlass, but fix several rare server crash issues, issue with the suspension ban notification showing incorrect times, issue where players could use their world transfer token while they still had active trading post contracts, causing additional issues when the transfer resolved, fix an issue causing some AI to not spawn in the world as intended, fix an issue where Merc Guard corrupted portals and Shattered Mountain were distributing higher tier gear than intended and respawning faster than intended. Fixed an issue where enemies in Merc Guard corrupted portal events were dropping loot, so I guess they weren't supposed to drop bags when you killed them. Fixed an issue causing an unintended animation where interacting with the bubbling cauldron housing item, and an issue causing the ladle object to not appear in the player's hand while interacting. We're really fixing the bugs that matter most, chat. All right? Okay. Strength bug. 250 strength bug. Right? Where you can't animation cancel and you don't get the regen and you run slower. We couldn't get that one done. But we can fix the ladle animation in your hand. That one we nailed. Got him. Well done. Fixed an issue with star metal and orichalcum ore veins, where large ore veins were rewarding small amounts of ore, and small ore veins were rewarding larger amounts of ore. Fixed an issue where the war lottery timer would not pause correctly during the war lockout period. Fixed a render distance of the jack-o'-lantern pumpkin lights. Fixed in key issues. Fixed an issue causing the GM chat tag to show on non-GM players. I like that one. Fixed an issue causing armor textures to flicker. Fixed an issue in the Starstone Barrows expedition where the arcane protection was not protecting players from certain lasers. Fixed an issue where certain enemies in the Amarine excavation were invulnerable. Fixed an issue where the ice pylon could stay on an infinite cooldown. Fixed an issue where players could obtain rings that had 2 perks sharing an exclusive perk label and shouldn't exist on the same ring. Fixed an issue causing the projectile visual to be absent from Ice Gauntlet and Ice Pylon attacks. Fixed an issue where players would be unable to complete a variety of game actions after fast traveling. Now this I think is my favorite section of the patch notes right here. Speculative fixes. We're not quite sure if we fixed it or not, but we have hope. I like it. The fixes listed below are tentative fixes and mitigations. Our goal is to get these changes out and see if issues persist, so we can continue to work on them and address in a future update if necessary. Fixed a war exploit where players could use AoE magic effects to capture rally points without taking damage. This should be improved by the war performance and life stat performance updates, but we will continue to monitor to see if issues persist. We have fixed several known causes of players being invulnerable. This issue is a top priority for our team, and we are continuing to track down fixes for additional causes of this issue. We have speculatively fixed the issue where players could get stuck after leaving Outpost Rush. This was a rare issue, and our team wasn't able to reproduce it. We'll continue to monitor during the rollout. During Outpost Rush, when the Outpost Rush event ended, there were 2 major issues. One is that losers and winners both got a crate of gear and 350 gold and like 200 azoth. It was like, over time, it is like a gold mine. It is beautiful. As long as you can chain run Outpost Rush, win, lose, or draw, you were making Monier. It was good. Problem is that people were botting it. Like within an hour of it going live and someone realizing like, I can make 350 gold every half hour-ish, sign me up. And then they would go in and just have a macro that spammed the space bar. So on spawn, they just jumped up and down inside of Outpost Rush until it ended. And you had like 3 people actually fighting, and then 17 people on one team were just jumping up and down in a cave until the match ended. They turned it off for that, and this other issue was some of the people were reporting that at the end of Outpost Rush, they were respawning dead. But yeah, so the strength bug still isn't fixed, and the rapid fire stuff still isn't fixed. And just in case you were wondering what that looks like, this is another streamer, and these are problematic things that really need to get fixed. And when I show you this, the life staff is actually worse.
So that way I don't have to hear G complain about my drip anymore.
Can't be looking like a scrub, dude.
Dude, I bought a mansion in Everfall yesterday.
Fireball gamers, dude. This is gonna be so funny to see.
So what he's doing, all right, just so that you guys know, what he's doing is that here and here are 2 fire staffs. He's got fire staffs on both, okay? And what he's doing is he's got a macro that weapon swaps and fires 22 MS apart, and with a toggle. He turns it on, bang, 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 hits the button again, turns it off. That's all he's doing. Problem is is that in doing this, he's animation canceling by swapping to the next weapon and firing, and then swapping to the next weapon and firing. With a life staff, you can actually do it even faster than this. It fires almost twice as fast as what he's doing with the fire staff, if you're light attacking with the life staff. And you can do it manually just as fast as he's doing this. So, one, macros are bullshit, and you shouldn't be using macros in this, because if you're going to PvP, it should be about the ability of the player and their ability to use key combinations to do whatever it is that they're doing. Like, you're supposed to be manually teching this kind of shit. Secondly, there's no fucking way you're going to tell me that that is working as intended. This is Corey using his life staffs. Ready? And like, you can see that that's not macroed because the rate of the weapon swaps are changing. Right? Like, he's doing this by hand. And you can see that they're toggling like at different varying amounts and speeds. To recap, I'm going to make sure that this is in the video, because the last video that I made about bugs on YouTube, a video about bugs on YouTube, people were like, "Oh, well, you didn't show anything." They told me that what I was showing them wasn't accurate. We'll go through this one more time. So, heavy hit on a Grey Wolf, 2365. 2365 white hit. 2385 white hit. Right? Remember that number, 2,385. We select heavy pull. The talent's purpose for heavy pull is for people to be drawn closer to you when you hit them. Come closer. That's its only purpose. Ready? 1788. 2385 to 1788. 1774. 500 damage. Because I selected that one talent. Now, if I go and I select Gravity, which Gravity says after you cause a pull to your foe, they're held 30% longer. So if I select Reap, right? Reap talent 1. I think it's like 5 meters. See? Does damage. If I extend the length of Reap, well, I gotta wait the 7 seconds. Reap range 8 meters. Ready? You missed that one? In case you're wondering what's going on, having the talent Gravity makes it so that Reap stops doing damage as soon as you extend Reap's range. So as soon as you add the Collector to it, Gravity, this talent, makes it so that Reap doesn't work anymore. It'll pull them in, but it won't hurt them anymore. So no more self-healing, no more damage, nothing. The strength bug has been around since like alpha, and people have been reporting it forever. It's just now that it's like known, it's more widespread. 238 strength. We're under 250. Now I'm gonna hit Q, and then I'm just gonna keep spamming the shift key until I dodge. Okay. Okay. So he dodges right at the very end of the animation. As soon as the hammer gets back here, he pulls back, right? If I put the gloves back on, this puts me at 250 strength. Now I'm going to spam the same dodge key as an animation cancel until he dodges. See the difference? And again. It's a full, like, second and a half. It also makes you run slower. Like, this isn't unique to just, like, this tree. These little bugs with these perks is not unique to this tree or to these weapons. Almost all of them have issues. Like, Fire Staff. The Fire Staff ability says, casting a fire spell, Runes of Helios. Casting a fire spell places a 2-meter rune on the ground, increasing your spell damage by 30% while standing on the rune, right? So it puts a rune on your feet. There's a bug where when you go to cast a spell that has like a little AoE, like Pillar or Fireball, when you go to cast them, sometimes when the Rune of Helios gets made at your feet, it fires the spell into your feet instead of putting it out wherever it is that you've aimed it. Aside from the fact that it not being 30% to begin with. And then there's another one. There's another one on Fire Staff for Incinerate. This Flame Out spell that says that it hits twice. Sometimes it hits triple or quadruple, and that one's like crazy intermittent, and no one seems to understand why or how it's happening, but it hits for like triple damage sometimes. The Ice Gauntlet, this says Ice abilities chill targets, increasing ice damage by 35% for 3 seconds. Sometimes that bugs, and it's not just ice damage. It's all damage. So if you have somebody that gets ultimate chill and then they get hit with a fireball, they take 35% more damage from the fireball. There's a bug with Pillar where people can double cast it with the 2 fire staffs. If you're using the 2 fire staffs thing, there's a bug where people can double cast Pillar. In terms of like long-term impact on the game, competitiveness makes people want to do whatever it takes to win. Gamers that are hyper competitive will find like the secret menu stuff to be able to gain advantages over the competition in order to be able to win. And because they won, they are rewarded in the game for having won. And the devs don't appear to be going back. The devs don't seem to be going back on those guys and saying like, hey, we're going to take your town away from you. They're not doing that. So the guys that are exploiting to gain, for personal gain are being rewarded by being able to keep the things that they took. Yeah, the client-side stuff removed. New World is client-side authoritative, chat. I don't know if you knew this. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work anymore, but it might. Okay, so we have New World in a window. So the thing that people were complaining about is that if you hit escape and drag your window around, I can hear the audio, but I ain't moving. If I go to jump, I'm stuck in midair. I'm not actually falling. When I let go, I'll fall and hit the ground. Ready? Nice, right? So because the game is client authoritative, what's happening is packet sends and receives from the server are basically getting queued until the client does another handshake, and then all of that stuff gets resolved. If you were fast enough, or if you wrote like a short Python script, let's say, oh, and by the way, you being hit with like physics, pushes and pulls, none of those work. So if you're somebody that is airborne somehow standing on a point and you're moving your window around like that, you can't be moved. So this is the issue with all the invulnerability glitches, is the guys that are going invulnerable can't be pushed off of points. So they stand there invulnerable, shaking their window around. And what's happening is it's putting your client in a state of suspension. So if you did it long enough, you could stay in one place, immovable, unkillable, for 20 minutes, and then the server would kick you off for being AFK, and you would never recognize any of the damage. But you could write like a short Python script that would basically like automate this for you. Like, ding. Stunned. And it just went on cooldown. It didn't hit until I let go. Well, they actually didn't turn off Windows borderless. The game is played in borderless already. Full screen is windowed borderless. Oh, and when you go to put it back in full screen after you played in windowed mode, it doesn't actually go to full screen. It goes to Windows 95. All right. So now we get to hard quit out to desktop. This game is pain.